Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video we got this 2004 Toyota Tundra right in front of me right here. So the issue with this Toyota Tundra, it was at a different shop for almost 3 months, and the issue is they had a parasitic draw, and as you can see, they got a Toyota battery right here. They just changed it out not too long ago, and they could not figure out this parasitic draw. So they brought it over to me, and as you can see, I did my test and it shows that there is no draw. And this other shop, they are really good when it comes down to diagnosing. They got to the point where they're just like, look, we cannot figure this out, this is getting stressful, so they brought it over to me. I've tried everything, opening, closing the door, driving it, trying to get it to act up, and it would just not act up. Let me show you what I found out. And I'm just making this video right here just for basically a learning lesson right here. And the importance on listening to every small little detail. Because sometimes we get focused on, just doing this test and not worrying about everything else around you. And I'm gonna tell you a story as well, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. So let me show you what made me finally find the issue here. So finally, when I called the customer and I brought it up and I asked him, hey, I cannot find the problem, and the other shop was telling me, he was like, look, man, I can't believe it. This elderly guy, every single time I take it to him, after I do my test, he always comes back with, it is draining the battery. And he kept on saying elderly guy a lot of times. So I don't know if you can get to where I'm getting to right now. So as I'm about to, finish this up, I get the door and I do this. I close it. Do you see this right here? You see that gap? So I start doing that a couple more times. You see how I'm closing it? It leaves a gap. What do you think happens when that happens? I don't know if you can catch that right there. That light stays on. Those rear lights stay on. And let's check out the amp draw right here. 3 amps. Oh, look at that, dude. So I was thinking about it. I called the customer, or I actually called the shop, and I asked him, how old is the elderly guy? And he told me, hey, this guy's about close to his 70s. Could that be it? Let's just say the customer walks out of his truck, closes the door, and leaves that big old gap. Because what he would tell me is that it would drive good, everything's well, and then out of nowhere, one day he turns on, it leaves the vehicle, the next day it doesn't turn on. 3 amp draw. And I've tested this before. I actually left the door like that, and it stayed like that the whole way through. So moral story right here. Get your information. Get your information. And let me bring up the story that my teacher told me, and then I'll let y'all go so I'm not just talking the whole way through. Okay, so I had this one story from one of my teachers. He brought this up. Basically, he was saying that they had a misfire, and they took it to his shop. And when they took it to his shop, he tested everything, and that misfire wouldn't happen. But then every time the customer took it back, they noticed he kept on complaining, I have the misfire. So after my teacher took this car a couple of times, he kept on taking it, and he kept on test driving it, would not act up, this and that. He finally got irritated, and he said, you know what? You take me on the test drive. I want to see exactly when this happens. And then the customer finally takes him on a test drive, and then he forgot to bring up this one little small point. He said, every time I go up this bridge right here, that's when it starts misfiring. And it was a really steep bridge. That's what the teacher said. It was a really steep bridge, and every time it was under heavy load, that's when it started misfiring. So moral of the story is, interview your customer, get all that information. You can see right there. There you go. So has anyone ever ran into an issue like this, where you check everything out, but you test it whenever everything is good? The small little details. Has anyone ever dealt with that, like my teacher or like myself? Comment down below. Let me know what you've done. Let me know if you've ever ran into that issue. Because with this one, parasitic draw would drop. Because before, there you go, closed door. I want you to let me know your story. Comment down below. All right, y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day. Goodbye.